Allow us at Eddie B Productions to capture, create, and celebrate all of your greatest moments. Let us turn your joy into memories that will last forever. As we remember our beloved Eddie Blick Jr., the very reason we do it all, we aim to put a smile on your face and also your heart. Whether a birthday party, wedding planning, organizing an event, or photography, we can service all your needs. You can follow us on Instagram at Eddie B Productions, email us at eddieb_productions93@outlook.com, or call us at 410-303-0101 for all your event planning, decoration, fun, and photography needs. We look forward to working with you. Allow us at Eddie B Productions to capture, create, and celebrate all of your great...
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is the Conversation with T. On this to the Inspirational Radio online Dunston series. You guys can come back to join me. So today we have, and this is actually what I based just to put you guys up. We picked 5 table topic questions to ask one another today, and we had all week for the last 2 weeks to think about it. And I based my 5 questions that I would like to ask off of the conversation we had, not only last week, but for just the previous weeks, all in one lump sum, and kind of split that up over 5 questions. But I'm excited to see what my wife has in store for me. So who you want to go first? You want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Have you been looking at my questions? No, you looked at all 5 of my questions. I'm gonna watch this back. No, I'm gonna watch this. No. See, all right. So, all right, you claim you saw the first one. So I will start with. All right, this will be juicy up front. I figured we asked this one on the back half, but why not start off with a banger? All right. Do you think we've spent our relationship in excitement, on edge, or in survival mode? Now, just to if you've been tuned into the show to any magnitude, then we've been together for 16 years. But if you just tuning in, we've been together for 16 years. So we've been through quite a bit. But yeah.
All 3.
Okay. Explain.
Okay, it depends on what stage of our relationship. I feel like we've experienced all 3. Like survival mode, because we've been in a position where we didn't have much and it was just all about surviving. It wasn't about thriving. It was just trying to make sure we had enough to take care of the kids and what we had to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
Excitement, because we had our moments where we were excited and doing things and enjoying each other. And then on edge, because we had our moments where it was tense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say we've experienced all 3.
I kind of agree with you. Well, I agree with you. When I thought about that question, I kind of thought about it from a adult man, adult black male in the United States, trying to figure out who he is when he didn't have a father, right? And as I thought about what we've discussed on our previous shows, I kind of learned, and I hope I'm loud enough, but I kind of learned that I had begun to look forward to the negative happening because of, I guess, as many chains as I've had to break or generational curses I've had to power through. Um, I think over time, because even my successes hurt. My success hurt. You know, when my accomplishments would hurt, right? Whereas a person who might come out of a healthy household, taught how to focus, just come into that structure, and able to submit to authority, right, and to obey, and to have a model of what you are, right, a projection of what you should become, things you should think about, and all those kinds of things. I just kind of thought to myself, because I had so much to learn, had so much catching up to do, and having to unlearn while simultaneously learn, while simultaneously fail. I just felt like my road was a bit bumpy, coming from East Baltimore. So I felt I had begun to expect the negative, because even my wins felt like negatives to me, if that makes any sense.
What I'm gathering from what you're saying is, if you feel like everything bad is always happening to you and something good still happens to you, it doesn't allow you to enjoy the good, because
Right.
you're just waiting for the next bad thing to happen.
Exactly.
That's no way to live.
Well, I'm working on it, right? I mean,
How do you ever how do you
excuse me.
ever have happiness or enjoy happiness if you're always looking for the bad?
See, that's the thing. I had to, one, there's a couple of different things there. There is, and I guess we'll get to this question a little later on, but um, well, I don't want to. I'll keep that one on nice. We'll get back to that one. But you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's number one. Growing, and a determination to change, to meet whatever moment you're in, has to be there as well. It's just the way that I process what those things were. I processed them through a false expectation of what my future should be. We talked about that a little bit too. You know, how we develop this false expectation of what our future should look like, or what a successful household, or a healthy household looks like. It becomes unreachable or unobtainable. And when we fail harder, right? Or it's just like extra burden, or extra stress, or like an extra mental hurdle, and then that fear of not getting to the desired outcome, even when the outcome is unobtainable. It can kind of play with you mentally, right? So what I've had to do through therapy, but then also just through self-reflection, with that determination to grow, you take a second look at certain things. And no matter what the situation calls for, no matter what confrontation, whether healthy, unhealthy, whether the case may be, always look for your error. Always look for what you did wrong. Even if you don't feel like you did anything wrong, still look for your error, because we all have blind spots, right? So, I feel like, anyway, I've done this with you a lot. I don't want to, start no stuff, but why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just waiting for you to finish.
Why your eyebrows so high?
They weren't until just now.
Well, lower them back down. I'm just saying, it's a threat. Your eyebrows got to combat posture, but no, like I've looked at you and said to myself, like, you're wrong. Like, you are wrong. Like, you wrong. I know you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm just saying, no. There are specific moments that we are in where I'm like, "Hmm, yeah, but in order to find the way way that you communicate. Always look for maybe nothing. I'm always looking for the way that happens. And then ultimately coming back and coming back. Even when I know you know. Why'd you look up like that? Like they're your eyeballs get like when the that is what you possible. Like this is what I know you want to do. And then this is something you guys can do after this. I've learned this. Carried over the last 16 years. I think that's a difficult question to ask me when you know you can't recall all the 16 years. But what I am saying is I know that there has been moments where I've been looking like you are absolutely out of your mind right now.
So what you're saying is, long story short, you're learning to pick and choose your battles.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm saying in a roundabout way. And the reason why I took that long, that long way around was because that's the way that I understand it in layers, right? And when I break it down to layers and I really analyze myself, that's when a you didn't see before, maybe maybe a you that you glanced over, or a you that rests in your subconscious, that's when that individual starts to become present. You know what I mean?
Okay. Are you ready for my question?
All right, go ahead.
What does your joy look like today? Which I feel like is a good segue question because what we were just talking about.
What does my joy look like today?
Mm-hmm.
My joy looks like my family doing good, and thriving. I took Jalil to his first interview today.
Mm-hmm.
I felt good doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Come out, he was like, Dad, I talked about this and I talked about that and I talked about this and I did that. I'm sitting there like he growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Or Ryan at the basketball camp, and how aggressive he is, and I remember his first game, he was so reserved and so
timid,
yeah, and just so
not
frightened
today.
To the point where he didn't want to move or could hardly shoot the ball because he was just paralyzed by fear.
Mm-hmm.
And to see him now break out of it, I'm pleased I've made some mistakes on the sidelines as a father, as I think any father probably does. You made some mistakes. I've heard you out there. Like, don't sit here and act like as a sports mom you don't.
I didn't say literally anything.
Don't like the Dundalk team.
Pause,
okay,
because
ahead.
You were literally talking about yourself and your mistakes. I said nothing, and then you felt the need to say what? Don't sit up here and act like you ain't making no mistake. I
just felt judged. I felt a little judged.
You felt judged by nothing?
Energy speaks before the mouth does. I can feel it on you. I can feel it touch me. All right. Now, all I'm saying is this. I enjoy watching our kids grow and develop, as we parent season, as we cycle up in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we go through our cycles after cycle and process after process, either we're parenting ourselves out of our kids, or we are, refocusing our kids, or we are, redirecting our kids. And I think that I've gotten a chance over the years to settle down a little bit and notice those things, because I lost a lot of time in the retail space. And when I and then I went through a spot where, I had a little bit of a depression back in 2000, what is that, 17? I think that is.
Mm-hmm.
Where I had, gone through it. And I consider these moments now like catching up with them. I think that going to Jalil's track meets and Ryan's basketball games, coaching Cam's first basketball team, coaching Ryan's first basketball team, taking Jalil to the gym with me, those sorts of things that bring me joy. Looking forward to a not just no phony home cooked meal, like not nothing you just throw up in the microwave, or pop in the oven with some foil over it because when you rip it out of the box, like no, like you really cook real meals, like you know, you big on cooking, and I look forward to that. That brings me joy. Um, I look forward to being at peace. You know, I know a lot of times it kind of seems like I'm fighting mentally because I am trying to still figure it all out. Not fighting in my home, but just fighting the outside things that I've gone through that day or that maybe facing that week. Maybe it's something that's upcoming or something that had gone by. Whatever the case may be, you know, I am up. But there's peace. I know at the end of the night I can come in here with my wife, chill, maybe grab a glass of wine and watch The Office, and I know I'm gonna giggle a few times before I go to bed. That's peace. That's joy for me. Hershey Park, of course, those things brings joy. But I think those things are connected to happy as opposed to joy, right? What's happening, right? Whatever you're happy about in that moment is only connected to what's happening. But the joy portion, when we're at Hershey Park,
Creating memories.
watching Ryan now ride his first roller coaster, or Cam now that he's 10 years old riding his first roller coasters, and me being a part of that process. I think those sorts of things are dope, because they were so frightened again to get on those things. Didn't really want to do it, and I had to force Jalil. Lord have mercy. I thought I was the worst father ever because I got a headache, and I felt like it was the biggest excuse. And I'm like, man, come on, man. No, like we did not spend all of this money. We had a family of 5, y'all. We spent
I understand the headache part.
Amusement park money on a family of 5 for him to get out there and talk about he hot and he got a headache. Nah, man. You go and enjoy this. You are going to act like you enjoy it then. That'll suffice in these moments. You don't have to like it for real, but just look like
just,
like you. Yes.
Just fake your joy.
Yes, so it can look, satisfy my wallet. Yes. Makes me feel better.
So about you feeling better. Forget about his headache as long as you feel better.
So what we started to do, we bring Advil now.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
Because I get headaches too. That's why I said I can relate.
I'll be damned. Like we're not spending that kind of money anymore on amusement park tickets if I'm not amused when I get up in there. You see what I mean? But the compromise was the Advil and the baggies. So win. But we went from fighting and clawing tooth and nail to, like they are jumping for joy. When's the next one? They looking for it. Which good times. All right, but what about for you though?
And my kids, just seeing them grow, seeing them excel where they are. And we have really good kids. Like they don't get in trouble. They're all doing really well in school.
I agree.
They're well behaved. So it's just like to see the life that we literally breathe into them and to see them growing up to be good young men brings me joy. The fact that we can talk to them about literally anything and everything. Like there's nothing off the table that we can't talk about, which makes me, feel good that if they're ever in a situation, they know that they can come and talk to us about it, because not all kids have that with their parents, and therefore that leads down, to other things. But
side note, and I know I don't mean to take a left turn here, and parents, maybe you'll be able to relate, maybe not just yet, or maybe you've already been here, but I was grateful to your last point. I'm not saying that, it wasn't hard to talk to our kids about sexual things or uncomfortable things, drugs, right? Addiction. I guess my angle from drug addiction comes from it's in our family. We got to deal with it. We can't act like we don't, because that's ignorance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, this is what this is. You need to be aware of it, and you need to know how our blood reacts to it so that, we can steer clear, right? They say difficult times create strong men or women. And I think in that sense, our kids would be stronger for the things that we had to endure. But also, I don't believe like that drug addiction conversation is not uncomfortable. I don't believe that the sexual conversation, Jalil's first conversation about that, and Ryan's, Cam's not just yet, but those conversations wasn't uncomfortable for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and do you think today's culture prepared us a little bit better for that? Because
No.
I'm not gonna lie, like
No, honestly, I think, well, for me, it was my life prepared me better for making sure that we had open communication with our children.
Mhm.
Not today's culture, but because we can't be naive to today's culture.
I've heard some
I feel-
parents say they are uncomfortable with it.
Well, like I was saying, I feel like because of today's culture, that's even more reason to have open communication with the kids.
Mhm.
Because of they're exposed to so much more than we were as kids.
I agree with
So
you.
it's just like you have to talk to them about what they see. You have to make sure that they know, like, you can't be out here mimicking what you see because that's not you, and it's probably not even the people that you see doing it.
Right.
So
You know what? And I guess in retrospect, and I can look at retrospect. Now that I'm looking at it now, I guess I was a bit uncomfortable with Jalil.
because it was your first time, your first conversation,
And they were very young. Like, yeah, it was my first time going through something like this. But then also,
I'm sorry.
um, it was because they had some kind of search on the tablet, right? That we had to have that conversation.
That was your
It
middle
was
son.
dumb
What?
early. It was like way too early to talk about this.
Couldn't even spell it.
And then me and Patrice, we started weighing our options. Like, all right, so do we? Jalil was only in what? He was in what, 5th grade?
He was in elementary school.
Yeah, it was like in the 5th grade at that time, man.
Ryan was in like 2nd grade.
Right, right, and you didn't have any. I think at the bare minimum, he was just walking into the 6th grade. And I'm thinking to myself, like, damn, already? Excuse my language, but I'm like, already?
Well, to me, that just let me know, like, okay, so these conversations are going to have to be had earlier because they are exposed to so much, because they do have access to it at such a young age. So it's better to talk to them about it than to have them searching it.
So what was that? That was what? Jalil is 17, going on 18. So you might as well say he's going to be 18. 18, that was when he was 11. So that's 7 years ago. That means I was 28. Yeah. I don't know if there's many 20-year-olds walking around having that conversation with their kids, man. That was pretty uncomfortable, I guess it was. But going through that experience, you know, I think I only have felt that way because of how old he was. I mean, how young he was and how young I was too. You know, but when Ryan came up, it was just like, all right, listen here. And I talk about it with Jalil all the time.
But see, it's funny because Ryan literally, when we were in the car this morning, he came across a TikTok on his phone, and he said, when your mom has you at 13, it said when your mom has you at 13 and your grandmother raises you as siblings. And he was like, Mom, like, he was like, I don't get it. Like, what does this mean? Like, what are they saying? I said, the mother was only 13 years old. When you're 13, you can't even get a job.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so it was the 13-year-old's mother, which would have been the child's grandmother's job, to step up to take care of that child. And when you're only 13, you don't know what it is. You can't even take care of yourself.
Right.
So I was like, so the grandmother had no choice but to take care of that baby and raise the baby. And so they grew up like siblings with their parent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was like, that's crazy. I said, right. I said, but you being 14 right now, imagine you having a baby right now. You couldn't take care of no baby. So it would be me and Dad's job to take care of that baby. That's what that would be like.
So you lucked up. You had material. That's what I meant by today's culture. It's like they are already exposed to it. So all you got to do is kind of provide perspective, right? And realign some of the understandings that have already hit you.
Well, no, but see, here's the thing. Because he felt comfortable enough to ask me about it, because that foundation was already laid where there's no question that's off the table. We can talk about anything. Yeah. So had that foundation not already been laid with the with the open communication, he may not have asked me.
Yeah. This is also another sidebar conversation. We need to stop having sidebars. So
It's
we're
you.
not gonna never get through the list.
It's you.
I blame you. So, do you think that well, I guess for Ryan and Jaleel, the way that I approach their little situationships right now, right? Jaleel and who he's into and who he's not into. And Ryan, this little Ryan just had coming up off his first girlfriend. And Jaleel, he's walking into the senior year. And I don't know, like,
What do you ask? I'm not sure what you ask.
because I don't want to. I'm kind of feeling guilty about the way that I tell them to communicate with these girls and how to strategically compartmentalize your relationships, right? Because I don't want them to have. I don't want them to be. I don't want their hearts to be locked into something so early.
You pretty much tell them don't get attached.
I don't want to sound like that.
But that's pretty much to sum it up. That's what you tell them.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
So what do you say?
Don't get attached, because
No, what you say is you say don't put a title on it. Just
right.
Don't put a title
friends.
on it.
I said, listen. If you think about it like this, if you friends, you never gotta be hurt, or you never gotta be too hurt by what.
But see, I feel like you tell them that because of something that transpired in your past. So you're speaking from your pain.
No, I'm speaking from Ryan being in the 12th. I mean the 8th grade. Like, he TikTok. Come on, you know what he was doing.
But you tell Jaleel
and
the
they're
same
brushing
thing.
this. No, I don't necessarily say that. Like, Jaleel, we talking about dates and stuff like that. How to keep a conversation going, like that kind of thing. It's never, stop putting her on your Instagram story, man.
Because you don't see. But see, Jaleel and Ryan are two completely different individuals when it comes to dating or talking to females, period. Anyway, Jaleel sees the first red flag. He's like, nope, not for me. And Ryan, on the other hand, he's like in it for the long haul when we're all like, no, she's not it. Red flag. And he's like, no, but it's okay. And we're like, no, it's not. And Jaleel's like, you should have been out of that a long time ago. So it's like they're two totally different kids when it comes to that.
Right.
Because Jaleel's not posting no girl on his Instagram, nothing like that.
No, he just spending all his money on them.
But see, that's the thing. But that's the thing with Jaleel. He's not just spending his money on the girls. Like when he goes out with his guy friends, he's the guy that wants to make sure everybody's okay and has what they need. He spends his money on everybody.
Well, he's gonna have to reanalyze that one.
Well, yeah, he is.
But either way, for me, I don't want their hearts to be broken or I don't want their hearts to be mismanaged.
Right, but eventually it's going to happen.
It will. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I know that I can't protect them from everything. But as a father, I'm schooling them on what I've learned. Right? What's the old saying? Let me have struggled for you.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Let me have struggled for you.
When I literally say, when you tell them no, because you're going to get your heart broken, don't do this, don't get this, because you're speaking from something that transpired in your life.
We ain't going down that rabbit hole right now. We'll have to come back to that one.
It's not a rabbit hole.
It sounds like a rabbit hole.
It's just a yes or no.
All right, let's see here.
I don't really feel like we finished answering my question, but okay. We'll
all right, so what part don't you feel like I answered so that I'm not overlooking?
That's all right.
No. Give it to me.
What part? Okay. We can move on.
No. Come on.
Because we went off on like 3 different subjects.
Sidebars. What part don't you feel like we answered?
I don't even remember now. It doesn't even matter. Come on, let's move on.
You remember. All right. All right, this is a good one. And this could be about anything. If not now, then when?
I feel like I'm living my now. Because it's like I thought about this. Well, I've been thinking about this. Like, I'm not in my 40s trying to start a business. Oh, I'm damn near 40. But
Gut check. Culture shock.
no, but I'm just saying, it's just like I'm doing it now. I'm not like, oh, I'll wait. Oh, I'll try to do this later. Like, I'm doing it. Like, there's other things that I would love to do. Yeah, but there's, reasons that won't allow. But I'm just saying, like, as far as the business aspect of it, it's just like, this is mine now. And as far as for you, it's just like I feel like you're doing a lot of things that most people be like, nah, like they'd ease into or tiptoe into, but you're doing, like, as far as the book stuff and doing the basketball camps and stuff like that. So I feel like we are in our now.
Yeah, I asked that question because I don't believe even though we are living in our now, I don't think we always experience our now.
What do you mean?
Because we could be hearing it and we're not always present, right? We could be worried about something that
hasn't even happened.
Right, anxiety.
And not enjoying
or
our
worried
now.
about a mistake we made in the past. Right?
But that goes,
but that
goes back to the first.
Here.
That goes back to the first question and comment that you were talking about when you're like you're always waiting for the bad thing to happen, but when that happens, like, you're never living in your now. You're not really enjoying your blessings that are currently happening to you because you're already waiting for something bad. So it's like you've already missed your blessing,
right?
Because you're too busy focused on negative,
or miss the opportunity to set up your future,
right?
That's one of the biggest mind F's, right? Mind hacks or just life hacks, being able to stay in the moment so that you can continue to, because your future is built up from moments, current moments, small current moments. And if you spend, 2 months depressed, you've lost 2 months.
Okay, so because what you're saying now is a good segue into my question.
Or you just about to skip over?
No. It actually goes with what you're saying. It actually goes right. Are you holding on to something that you feel like you need to let go of?
I feel like that's still a different conversation.
It's not, because if you can't move on or you're having a hard time focusing on the positive, it's probably because you're holding on to something that you probably should just let go of that'll allow you to live in your now.
That's true, but I think programming also has its parts in it, because one of the things I'm talking to my therapist about right now is, are you just simply used to worrying, right? You worry during your successes, you worry during your setbacks, you worry when things are going good, and you worry when things are going bad. Like, are you just programmed to worry at this point, and now you have to first of all acknowledge it, unlearn it, and then implement a new mindset? Those things, you don't always know you losing time, but I don't always think it's something that you have to let go of either. I think that if why not now, that question for me just kind of sums up, if not now, then when? You'll never get it back. That's the reason why we got to change our mindset. It's like that's the one unforgiving principle to life. If you lose the moment that you're in right now, you're not getting that moment back. Mm-hmm. It's like the one law that will not break, honestly. And something so simple can definitely be complex, depending on how your life is going.
Or depending how you choose to look at it.
Right. And a lot of that is, a lot of that is relative. A lot of that's connected to a lot of different roots. A lot of that is connected to family pains and traumas. A lot of that is connected to self, inflicted wounds. But things that are going on in your subconscious or maybe in your blind spots that you don't always know you're doing to yourself, self-sabotaging, procrastination, those sorts of things. And when you really open up the box to take a look, it could be quite overwhelming to realize how much you have to work on in you. And that could send you on a whole nother spiral. Now you're worried about if I can even heal from it all. How can I come back from all of this? How can I be the one person that have to be responsible for all of this? That's the reason why I feel like your faith also comes in, because that's where the understanding of you don't have to be strong enough to do it all at one time, and that being okay, like that understanding is the understanding of putting that on God's shoulders, knowing that you ain't got to solve all the problems right now, and because we are brutal on ourselves.
Exactly.
We're brutal on ourselves, and we will most certainly let go of it right now and be okay with a never then. You know what I'm saying? And to us, it makes sense, even though when you're not hurting, it doesn't. When you're in the pain, that decision is saying, you know what, whatever, we just ain't gonna do it, or I'm not gonna do it. I'm hurting too bad right now, or whatever. Like that,
quit.
Right? Those things never get birthed, right? And what's the prayer? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it in the heaven. So those things never come to earth. And then also, when your moments are gone and you don't get to build your future, you are also, that whatever losing that battle meant to your soul could be pretty daunting when you keep losing over time.
Well, and for some, it's easier to quit than it is to fail.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a regret thing too, man, because you never knew if you could.
Right. Then you live in a land of what if.
Right. Yeah, that's tough after time go by, because again, that one law, you can't go back and get it back. All right, so let's move over to yours. We still got about 20 minutes left. I think 5 was a healthy number. I was gonna say 10, but I feel like 5.
Are you ready for the next question?
Yeah, good.
What makes you smile?
I thought it was what are we letting go of?
Oh, you want me to answer it now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think.
Okay.
Well, because the question was, what do I have to let go of?
Are you holding on to something you feel you need to let go of?
Oh, probably. Just because I'm imperfect, probably.
Well, what would you say that it's preventing you from doing because you're holding on to it? You don't have to go into specifics of what it is that you're holding on to, but what do you feel like it's preventing you from doing?
I think it's for some, it could be a trust factor, right? Like me and my faith, the way that I understand it, or the way that I fight with addiction. If you give me this thing that's making you feel safe, in exchange for the fact that you're getting ready to feel fear, I'll already give you the victory. And what I mean by that is this, right? As long as we don't stop, we normally get it done. Like no matter what it is, like right amount of time, you don't stop. Steady dripping water could put a hole in a rock. So you're going to figure it out. It's just we go through these mental battles and these mental hurdles, self-judgment, right? Going through the process of failure's interpretation of your efforts, right? And when you have a broken household and your father wasn't there to affirm you, a failure's interpretation of your efforts, when you put your heart and soul in it, can rock your world, right? And if you don't know how to process your way through all of that, that could be pretty
devastating.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes those things happen over and over and over again because failure is going to keep telling you the truth. about it too. And we live in a world nowadays where people don't like the truth.
Well, failure.
America don't like the truth right now. I think to some of us, the sky's not even really blue. Honestly, but to get back to this question, and I'm going off on a sidebar again, but I don't know. I feel yes, there probably are a lot of things we need to let go of. But I think that as we continue to go through things, like I just think you're gonna have that balance. I think you're gonna have a certain amount of things you have to receive, things that'll be good for you in a certain season, and then things you have to let go of. Right? Anger helped me in a positive way, but then it didn't help in a positive way in another season of my life. So and then those things could be
I
multi-layered too.
don't think it was anger that helped you in a positive way. I think it was your determination to succeed, and when you felt like you were no longer in a position that was going to allow you to succeed, then it was time to,
No,
go
like
elsewhere. But I don't feel like we can glorify anger in that manner.
anger's not bad. Like everybody feels it. It's a natural emotion.
Right, anger is a
Right?
natural emotion,
No.
but it's also, if processed correctly, because
Right. What you do in response to it. It's a secondary.
Right.
It's a secondary emotion, right?
Right.
So it's what you do in response to it. Two totally different things, right? But anger, I use that quite a bit in my life. Like I got angry at my household. I don't like the way we live, you know, and changed. You know what I'm saying? Got so mad that no matter what it took to change, no matter how much pain I had to go through to change, I changed. Yeah, I'm sick of this shit. We got to change. All right, something got to give. Anger did all of that. Basketball, one of my favorite sports. Right, I wasn't, I'm not no Michael Jordan or nothing like that. I didn't play at no D1 college, but I was okay around the neighborhood. But I got tired of losing first. I got angry. Angry fueled that fire, right? Anger is what got my first bully off of me, right? So anger did fuel me in some positive ways, but then I think that I also irresponsibly, responded to that emotion in another season of my life in a not so positive way, or in not so positive ways. But come on, let's keep going. We got 15 minutes. So it's my turn. We're on question 3, right?
I don't know. You said you was going to jumble your questions up.
I know, because you was signifying and cheating. All right. If we learn from our mistakes, then why are we so afraid to make them?
Because we don't feel like we have room to fail. We feel like we don't have the time to fail. There's no room for errors. Like, we need to get this and we need to succeed. So it's just like, it's got to be right the first time. I can't afford to make no mistake because I'm already running out of time.
Yeah. I think we have to already know it's ours. We fight for it differently when we know it's ours already.
Mm.
If somebody came and took somebody else's child from me, I try to get the child back, and I know this might be a crazy
Let's go with option B. Let's not use children.
No, like, all right, I gotta clean that up because it was not. I'm not saying that I would be overjoyed that somebody else's child got kidnapped or nothing like that. That's not what I mean.
How about we just change it?
That's not okay. All right. Well, that came out all wrong, y'all, and yeah, bad example. But you get the gist, right? You do, honestly, because what I'm I guess for me, what I'm saying is, if I'm afraid, I'm gonna just dive right into the question because it's gonna take too long.
Business standpoint, you wouldn't fight as hard if you worked for someone.
You knew it was yours.
But if you had your own business, you'd fight harder for your own business than you would if you worked under someone else.
You know what? I got a better example.
Okay.
All right. Thinking my way through this, right? Because I'm trying to make sure I'm all right. All right. So, Phil Jackson, I ain't even gonna put it on me.
Who's Phil Jackson?
Phil Jackson is
Basketball player.
An 80-year-old basketball coach, right? Old coach now. He's like he does consulting for the Lakers now. But he got married late in his life. Had some kids late in his life. You know, it'd be easier for me to fight for our marriage because we were out of the mud together, right? At a very, very young age. So everything we obtained together. We fought through everything, right? It just feels like our relationship is ours. And that, whatever we get out of it is what we put into it. So it's a certain fight that we're going to have.
Meaning as if I would have met you at this stage in your life?
It's like our relationship is like, all right, if you really want some bacon and eggs, you have to get up out the bed and go fix it yourself because nobody else fix it for you. Right? So I would do that because I want to eat bacon and eggs for a nice little breakfast for me and you. Right? I will fight for us because I want us to be healthy. I would fight for us. I would do the things that we want done for our marriage. Right? But if somebody walked into my life and I'm 69 years old, right?
Set in your ways.
And we get married and she like, all right, I want a divorce. You think I'm like, all right, I don't have the energy to go through that. I'm not getting up to go fix her no breakfast at 69. I'm not.
Okay.
Like if we get married, I got married because she wanted to, right? But if we get divorced, I ain't fighting you on that one either. I was just trying to stay young at that stage in my life. I don't think that a 67-year-old man could be married to no early 20-year-old woman. I just don't.
That's like grandpa status, but I mean, it happens. There's older.
Yeah, it does. But what I'm saying is, at that stage in my life, I don't think that was ever something I had. That we're not fighting for a life together. I'm about to die. I've been trying to clean that thing up for a while, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is at this point. Right, but please do answer the question.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I want from a sense of I guess that ain't what I wanted from you.
Oh.
There's more. There's more there than that, right?
Okay, so restate the question.
Because where I was going with the whole "you fight for it" thing, I just got derailed. Because of that kids thing really took me off track.
Okay.
And but I really had somewhere where I wanted to go with that. Because the first half just got so bent out of shape.
You lost it.
I was just like, I don't even know how to get back to it. Let's just go to another question. And we will get back to that one because I really, really do have something to say about it, but I just don't feel like I can say it through what's already been said.
Okay, so if you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would it be?
If I had a message to get across to a large group of people, what would it be?
What would you say?
How big is the group?
The world. What you saying to the world, Craig? What you saying to the world?
What would I say to the world?
Mm-hmm.
How big can my statement be?
Oh my gosh, like for real?
Because it's a lot to say to some folks.
A message. A message is right. A message is not a book. It's a message. What would you say?
How do I know that they'll receive it?
Why do you ever think this?
I don't know. Because it's a lot to say. It's a lot to say to people.
Okay, so what do you feel like would be the most profound thing to say to everybody? Like something that everybody could relate to or receive something out
of? If I could tell myself, my younger self, one thing, it would be lighten up. Don't take the world so personal. My aunt told me to always give life the benefit of the doubt. And I got offended when I first heard her, when I heard her say that. But I started to realize how much energy goes into you thinking about the negative intentions of what someone may have said.
And time wasted.
Right. Time going by. effort going by.
Goes back to everything.
And you are
we're
so
talking about.
great to bring things that have not happened. You're so great to bring those scenarios to life to the point where they're not happening in reality, but you'll find yourself getting angry at the things you're thinking about in your head that can nobody else see you thinking about.
Let your imagination run wild, like type of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Overthinking,
Have you?
processing.
Yes. Equivalency of you having a dream that I cheated on you night before, and next thing I know, I wake up in the morning and you got a straight attitude with me for an adventure that happened just 2 hours ago, where I don't know, I might have been on the top of some mountain with some girl, something like that, in Saudi Arabia somewhere, and you just popped up because you know how dreams be. You just fell out of a cloud and was like, caught you, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, I got up, like, what was I? I was in Saudi Arabia with some girl. Oh, my bad. Didn't even know. But you are pissed. Tears in your eyes, everything. Like, everything, like that stuff didn't even happen, but you feeling all that kind of way about it. Have you ever thought about, okay, I've had it in here in the house. You get angry at a certain something, nobody really pays it any mind, so you feel like you got to come closer to someone and say it or get somebody's attention, so you feel like you've been heard about something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not something I drum up or something that in my mind that I'm making up.
You think we ain't listening to you?
Right.
What makes you think we didn't hear what you said?
Because nobody is moving in action. Nobody does anything. Nothing happens. Nothing
according to whose understanding?
According to, if I've asked you to pick up a pair of shoes 5 times and they haven't been picked up, then nobody's listening.
Well, to whose understanding?
So is it that you're not listening, or that you just don't feel like it? Because I'm trying to balance where are we going with this.
Or we just didn't get it in your time frame.
5 days? And no?
It don't ever be no 5 days. I feel like that's a lot. You stretching it. We just don't get it in your time frame. And then sometimes that's seconds.
How long did it take you to unpack that suitcase?
That suitcase been unpacked.
But how long did it take you prior to?
I did it in my time frame.
How long did it? When I said something, and I let you just keep operating on your time frame.
See, that's not the scenario. So, those are not the scenarios that I'm talking about.
Okay, well, I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What exactly are we?
When you just wash the dishes, and I come in there and put a thing in there, and you're like, "Why didn't you put it in the dishwasher?" And I act like I don't hear that. And then in your head, things start moving.
Because it's like how much.
Wait.
Let me explain. Let me explain.
But before you explain,
no. I feel like I need to explain. Move forward. Because you're saying I'm making something up, when to me it's just.
I'm not saying you're making
a common
anything
decency
up.
Type thing. Like if I just took my time to clean up the whole
kitchen. And in your mind, that's the thing. When I put that dish in the sink, I'm not saying anything in my head. Things in my head are not firing away. I'm not saying things like, I'm about to put this dish in here because I absolutely know that is the opposite of decency. Like, those are not the things that are going through my head. But apparently, they're the things that you think are going through my head.
No, but I feel like
or shocked that I don't notice that you're thinking about.
What I feel like is going through your head is, I'm not going to wash this, so you just go ahead and put it in the sink. So it's like it leaves the responsibility for somebody else to take care of. I don't even think about the task
washing it. I don't even think about me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You don't think about what goes into the process of cleaning it up because you don't do it.
Which means that I'm not thinking about the decency of it. I'm not thinking about
which means that you don't think about the person who has to do it. There's no thought about anybody except for numero uno.
No, that's wrong. I love the way you tried to guide me in, right? That you tried to land my thinking for me. Right, but no, this is gonna be a rough landing here because I'm not thinking that I'm doing anything to you just because I put a plate in the sink and I wanted to get back to the ESPN. My mind is on, I gotta get back in there and see what they're saying, and I'm not saying anything about that dish, or I'm not thinking about doing anything to you personally by putting the dish in the sink.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by that. Right, all of those thoughts that are going on in your head, and then you start to feel a certain way, even though I'm not even thinking about the things you're thinking about. And then the next thing you know, anger, and I'm like, "Oh, why are you mad?" And then you shocked because I don't already know why you mad. It's like the biggest Game of Thrones that I've ever seen in my life. Like,
let me give you an example.
no. Why'd
Let me give you an example. So
go.
if you took the time to clean your truck out, vacuum it out, or whatever, and I get in there, shoes are muddy, and I got a whole bag of food, and I just eating my food, and got French fries everywhere, and
I'm not gonna get to my last.
And
question.
I leave my trash in there, then wipe my muddy feet all over your truck, and then I get out, and I leave my
That's
trash.
The craziest
I leave
example.
I leave the trash, and I leave the mud, and I just leave a mess in the wake of your cleanliness that you just cleaned up. How would you feel?
I feel like I just got on the overly emotional roller coaster.
Oh, so you're not going to answer?
No, that's how you asked me how I feel.
It's all right. We only have 4 minutes. I
understand. 4 minutes ain't enough for us to get into these next couple of questions. What was the other question that you had asked?
You still didn't even tell me your message.
Because
you was so busy going on a tangent about how you was focused on me and my thoughts that you didn't even answer the question about the message.
I did. I said that I would, be easy on yourself, forgive yourself.
You said that's what you would tell yourself,
right?
But is that what you would tell a large group of people?
Well, I don't know if everybody needs to hear that, because not everybody comes from where I come from. But you don't always have to forgive yourself. But if you forgave somebody else, we could chill on some of these bombs that's going through the air. We could chill through, we could chill on some of these shootings. If you just apply those forgiveness, same forgiveness processes, maybe not to yourself, but to some other folk. But I just wanted you to know that you make yourself mad off the thoughts that you think of in your own head.
That didn't even have nothing to do with what I was asking.
It did. Yes.
It didn't.
Yes, because what you think of in your head, if you bring it in, you have the strength to bring it into reality. So you can tell yourself a story to make yourself mad.
What did that have to do with a message that you?
All right, we're moving on. All right, what is it? 7:58. I'm just gonna ask this question, and we'll get back to it, because I actually have quite a few table topic questions that I think will still make for a quality conversation. But my next question was going to be, I actually talked about this in Toastmasters this past week, but it was, when's a moment where you had to remain sure in uncertainty, and how did you get through that moment? And it could be a season in life, whatever the case may be, but I think that's a juicy one. Definitely something that's, notable.
I can answer it real quick though.
No. I want you to give it some thought. Don't be answering my question. I feel like they deep questions. So don't
my answer is deep.
I need a long, dramatic pause.
I'm not dramatic.
Like look off. That last was dramatic. Everything about that story about you wiping your mud all in my car. That was dramatic.
Because you speak an analogy, so I have to speak to you in manners that you will understand. So I had to give you an analogy.
It's 7:59. Thank y'all. It is. It really is 7:59. We still love each other. All right. If I'm still here following Friday after next, she didn't kill me. But I'm Ryan Dunston. This is
Patrice Dunston.
And this is a conversation of truths on Inspirational Radio. We'll see you guys next time. Why you look like that? You ain't gotta look like that.